Hi, everybody. The voice of fragrance here with another video. It's been a long time. Uh, so, this video is about wanting to explain where I've been, what's been going on, and hopefully to get back in the game. The last time I really had any consistent content would have been almost exactly 2 years ago, November 2019. If you watch my channel, you know that time management that it takes to make these videos is not my strong suit, and I had devised this ploy to try to get myself in the habit of putting out a video every day the month of November. And I got about halfway through it, and then I stopped. The main reason I stopped was because my mom's health had gone downhill. In summer of 2018, she had been diagnosed with a form of ovarian cancer called primary peritoneal serous carcinoma. It's a bit of a rare form of ovarian cancer, and if you know anything about most instances of ovarian cancer, they kind of come on in the later stages because there aren't any real early signs to that. So when she was diagnosed, she was stage 4, grade 3. And she had done well with her first year chemo and things like that, but it's a very persistent cancer, and by the time winter of 2019 came along, she was not doing well. So I put everything aside and all the videos aside, and my focus was making sure she was, if not healthy, at least happy. If anyone would like some information or to know my experience of what happened with my mom and her ovarian cancer or PPC, let me know. Maybe I'll make another video about that, or just ask questions down below. So my mom was in and out of the hospital actually for a majority of the time after her diagnosis, but 2019 she was in and out quite a bit. She went into the hospital just before Christmas 2019, and sadly she passed away February 4th, 2020. She was 70 years old, and as strange as it sounds, her passing was very peaceful. She coded the week before, and they were able to revive her, and I was able to come, and she was intubated, but I was able to talk to her, and she was able to respond with nods and things like that. And the first night when she was in ICU, we were escorted. We were told we had to leave because it was getting late, and she even mouthed "I love you" as I was leaving. Shortly after that, she kind of slipped into unconsciousness and then passed away. Now, that was right before all this COVID madness started, so which was kind of good for me in a way, because I didn't have to bury myself in work or anything like that, and I kind of was able to at least mentally go through what had happened, just at home, and trying to go through the physical stuff at home. I didn't do a great job of that, but as you notice, this is a new place. I found this apartment in the more shopping area of my smaller town, and a good friend of mine and I moved in together, and I don't know anybody, these days that really needs dining room in an apartment. So we turned the apartment into an office slash cologne room. So I have my main cabinet here and shelves there, and there, and it works out well. But so it took a while to get this apartment, and it took even longer for me to get off my butt and get everything moved in. Still, almost a year later living here, haven't really completely moved in, but getting close. So with all that going on, the desire to make videos still wasn't quite there, and I had been asked to do some videos, and I knew that I had to make this video first about my mom and where I'd been. And I even tried that at the old place. It wasn't too successful, but I'm hoping that once I get over this mental hill of making this video and, you know, getting things out there, that this space will lend itself to to be more conducive of making videos. We'll hope for that. So during the pandemic, I, like most of you, was really, the one thing I was missing about the outside world was being able to go out sniffing. So I did a lot of online purchasing for samples. One of the really nice things about the pandemic was I became late night phone buddies with another reviewer, Carlos, BFL. He and I had met a few times. I'd been to his place twice, and we would talk occasionally, but he was off work, I was off work, and we were, you know, dealing with personal things, and we just kind of had a talk one night, and it just clicked. And honestly, we talked almost every night of the pandemic, at least 5 times a week, and usually, you know, around midnight to like 2 in the morning or so, since we were both night owls. So that was really great for keeping me in touch with the fragrance world. And I did a few reviews on his channel, which was nice to do and fun always with him. Sadly, on Super Bowl Sunday, he passed away. So this video is kind of about my mom, a tribute to my mom and a tribute to him as well. So that was a big blow. It's still strange not having the phone ring and having this crazy guy start talking about fragrance gossip and everything else in his own special way. I know a lot of people miss him. I am certainly one of those. But that also put a wrench in my desire to really get back on in front of the camera. Now, when everything with my mom was happening, I kind of realized the end was near, and I made a conscious decision to stop wearing fragrances altogether. And the reason for that was, I think people who are really interested in fragrance as a passion, they realize the emotional connection that fragrance can have with, you know, certain times in your life, certain events, and just emotions themselves. So I knew I didn't want to wear something and associate that with my mom's passing. As it happened, the night she coded, she was sent down to a step-down unit in the hope that she would be able to go to a nursing home. But when I went to see her and help her, make that move, I was wearing a fragrance that I used to like, but for some reason that day it was just horrible on me. It was Estee Lauder Brazil Dream, which I had loved before. It might have turned, because it is definitely an old bottle. And so that scent is kind of in my mindset of being like the scent of the start of the end. And that's okay, because I don't really have any desire, and didn't have any desire before any of this happened, to wear that fragrance again. So with that emotional connection to fragrance, my initial idea for a tag for this video, which used to be a thing, I'm not even sure if many people are still doing it, but I'd like to know what fragrances you guys have that are attached to a good memory. The fragrance that you wore getting married, or even incidental fragrances. Like, for me, one that always brings me back to good times is lilac bushes. My grandma had a lilac bush at her house, and it was beautiful. And every time, that's an instantaneous memory for me of just spending, warm weather time there. I think it would bloom in the spring or summer, but I just always remember walking by that and absolutely loving the smell of that lilac bush. So if that could be a tag video, or if you want, just put down below in the comments what fragrance or scent that you associate with a great time in your life. Because we've lost too many reviewers. We've all had a lot of loss here. We've had a lot of angst and arguments in the fragrance community that sometimes make it feel like it's not a community. And I know I've been a part of that. I can't help myself when someone kind of spreads some untruths, or doesn't quite understand something and aggressively is ignorant about something. So I know I'm part of that, but I want to bring some good about and try to remember why we got into this passion. It's not just about smelling good for other people. It's why it remains part of us, and why we have this obsession that kind of takes over our lives. So tag other reviewers and write down below what fragrances you associate with good memories. Now, like a lot of you, I'm sure I spent way too much money on new fragrances, and some things that I absolutely love. I was fortunate enough to get a few fragrances that I've always wanted in my collection. There's one right there, if you could figure out what that is. And there's a new one right there that just came out, and I just got a few days ago. That's amazing. So one of the ideas that I have for an upcoming video is to kind of tell what fragrances I've been wearing a lot and what I've really loved in, especially from the pandemic, and these past 2 years. So thank you so much for the people that asked about where I was, if I was coming back. I always felt bad that I didn't respond or I didn't put out any content, but hopefully with the new setup here and still working out the kinks with the audio and the video and the lighting too, but I hope everyone is well. I hope we recognize the beauty of what this passion brings, and I include myself in this, that I have to remind myself that it's the beauty that brought me here and that brings us together as a community. I do feel the love of the fragrance community much more than I feel the combativeness, so that's nice. So thank you very much for holding in there. Hopefully we'll get some new people watching the channel, and I will have some new content for you very soon. So thanks a lot for watching, and I will talk to you soon.